What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Flippin' Bats presented by Perry Ellis Fragrances. Game 2 just wrapped up here on the field at Petco Park. Alex and I are here. This is going to be an absolute blast. We're going to break down the whole game. We're going to talk a little bit about the ALCS game going on. And we just caught up with Blake Snell on the field post-game, starting pitcher. We're going to hear from him in just a second. This is going to be a blast. Let's get to it.
This improbable run, this joyride continues for the first time in 24 years. San Diego Padres, the Phillies, are headed to the National League Championship Series.
What a day here in San Diego. The bats were found. The bats came alive. Not a single run in the game yesterday for the Padres, and not a lot from the fans either, might I add. But a lot more runs today. It started early, it started often, and the crowd was incredible. What a day here. This was complete 180 from what we saw yesterday.
I gotta say, today felt a lot bigger. Just from the moment the gates opened, the fans felt. We heard a couple of them say that they also had an emotional hangover from the Dodgers series. You could feel that yesterday, last night, and today, everyone just came in ready to go. From the moment the gates opened, from the moment the first pitch started, even when the Phillies went up, no problem. Padres come right back, get a couple of runs, and then just exploded in the fifth inning. This is exactly what they needed. I feel like they could take a deep breath heading into Philly with the series tied 1-1.
Yep, and it all starts with the starting pitching.
Yes.
And to be able to catch up with Blake Snell right after the game was really cool. So let's hear it right now from starting pitcher of today, Blake Snell. First off, how special was this crowd tonight? It was yesterday, it looked like they were waiting for something to happen. Today, so much happened, and it looked incredible. How cool was it?
Yeah, it was super cool. I mean, these fans, they've been wild the whole time. So once we started hitting, you could kind of feel it. And then that, fifth inning, they just took over. So, no, we love being here. We love watching, them just support us, and hopefully we give them a show they want to see.
I know it's almost cliche to say that the second inning was tough, and it's not really anybody else's fault. Son, you can't blame that. A bunch of bloopers. No hit that inning was over 90 miles an hour. Everything was bloopers. How difficult is it to get yourself together and realize, all right, I still got to get these outs? It can't be easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, but you just think about it. I made good pitches. I executed. They hit them. They're a good lineup. They're going to have luck, too. So just take it for what it is. It's tough in the moment. You're frustrated, but you can't do anything about it. So you got to find a way to go 5, 6, and help the team out.
It seemed like just from watching you a few times, there were some pitches on the borderline, and you were showing a little more emotion tonight than usual. Those borderline pitches, there was a strike at the bottom of the zone. You're like waiting there for the call. There's a little more emotion in these games, huh?
Yeah, you're just more locked in. You want everything. You can't get it. Sometimes you'll show it, but you try to just stay level the whole time.
When are we playing MLB The Show?
Whenever you want, dog. I'm ready.
Congrats, dude. Really cool catching up with Blake Snell, today's starting pitcher. Also really big on Twitch, by the way. He's a big video game guy, so we're often in each other's Twitch streams, and he pitched his team to a 1-1 tie in the series now.
That was huge. And you said coming into this, they win if Blake Snell has a big game today. He did. He got it done. You talked about emotion. I know you're getting a little emotional here. You guys didn't see it, but while we were in that interview, Ben got sunscreen in his eye. A bug almost flew in his eye. So the reason he's crying, he just loves baseball so much. No, he has a little bit of sunscreen, and his brother's pitching. So
I'm crying. Alex is standing on a box. This is just beautiful.
We're having a good time.
Sunscreen went in my eye. This is the beauty of a live post-game show.
Okay, by the way, I'm on an Apple box. Okay, that's what he meant. So if I'm not on this, my head doesn't make it into the shot. So that's why I'm so tall.
It's not like we're trying to make it look like we're near each other. She legitimately isn't in the shot if she's not standing on a box. So that's why Alex is standing on a box here. Step down for a second so the people can see. There she goes.
Am I in a shot? I don't know. I feel like I'm edging. Every time.
The graphic is covering you. You can't even see you. One thing I was excited to ask Blake Snell about, one thing I thought was important, that second inning where the Phillies score 4 runs, they go up 4-0. But it wasn't because he was pitching poorly.
Nope.
We saw Juan Soto lose a ball in the sun. We need to talk about that for a second.
Today.
I played right field for 5 years professionally. It was my job, and it does not matter. You do not win a battle with the sun. It is impossible. Now, there's things you can do. You can put your glove up right next to it. You can shield it. But if the ball at the last second is in the sun, there is nothing you can do about it. There is absolutely nothing.
And you saw him. He kept his glove covering the sun up until the last moment, and then when he moved it to try to catch the ball is when he lost it and missed it. So that's tough. Even with the sunglasses. I mean, it was hot. It was 90 degrees here today. The sun, not a cloud in sight. So everyone was kind of dealing with a little issue there.
Yeah, so that happened. A bunch of bloopers that inning. There was nothing hit hard that inning, really. They end up with 4 runs, get down 4-0, but they immediately follow that up with back-to-back home runs. Their first run of the series, and then the top came off. It immediately was followed up with another home run by Josh Bell. Brandon Drury, Josh Bell, back-to-back. This crowd, back in it.
Oh, yeah. They were back in it, and then the 5th inning happened. And that was huge. They just opened the floodgates. The Padres loaded the bases twice, got 5 runs across the plate, and that's when you really knew, I think they have this game.
Well, that's how this game was so important. Obviously, we were talking about it in the pregame show, but you have to win a game, especially if you're the visiting team. Your goal is to win 1. If you're the home team, the goal is to win 2. But if you lose that first one, then you're really up against it. But one thing that's important with this series, just because of the nature of how the Phillies are built, they have 1 and 2 great starters. Both of those guys are great. So you almost feel like, I know we want to win 2 at home, but we beat one of their guys. Now we're going to Philly, and we're not going to face one of those guys at least until Game 5, you have to assume. So I know you want to win the first 2, but this was huge for the Padres because they beat one of their 2 studs, and that was really important. And that 5th inning, as you can see behind us on the scoreboard, it reads that big 5 in the bottom of the 5th. That's what broke it open, and that was the ballgame.
That was a ballgame. There was another cool moment there. We saw some brothers face off, the Nola brothers on the mound, at the plate. He ends up getting an RBI single off of his brother. Huge. You know a little something about facing your brother, right? I think there was another cool matchup. It rhymes with Verlander, last name.
It rhymes with Verlander. It's Verlander. Yeah.
Verlander, yeah.
So I always love brother on brother at bats, and I'm always rooting for the hitter. And we have the video of me facing my brother from spring training in Detroit. This is a cool story because my brother's 9 years older. At no point in our careers had we lined up to actually face each other in a game. But you get to spring training, Justin was pitching in a AAA game. I was playing on the field right next to it. I went and got an at-bat, hit a home run. The feeling was incredible, so I cannot imagine the feeling of doing it in the NLCS. We saw his parents in the stands.
Yeah.
His mom and dad looked like they didn't know what to do. The dad was wearing a Phillies jersey with a Padres undershirt.
Yep.
And the ball goes into the outfield. A huge run is scored. The stadium's going wild, and he's literally just looking there like, what is happening right now?
I love my sons.
I love my sons.
I love my sons. I want both of them to succeed. That was a really special, cool moment.
Yeah.
I mean, is that something you hold over your brother forever?
Oh, absolutely. And he knows I hold it over him.
Yeah.
I try not to do it a ton, even though I should do it at every Thanksgiving meal we ever have.
Yep.
I don't do it a ton, but it is something that they will be talking about for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And it is something that video is something that I will have saved in 18 different places so I never lose it for the rest of my life. But that was the big inning. Manny Machado ends up tacking on a home run.
Huge.
Padres win. The bats broke open in this game for both teams. Both teams hit well. Padres did a little better. There is another game going on right now.
Speaking of brotherly love.
Speaking of brotherly
Ben was
love.
freaking out the entire time in the stands. The moment the first pitch happened.
I can't help it.
Wasn't breathing.
I lose control of my...
Biting his fingernails.
My knee goes crazy, and I can't help it. But we're in the stands here at the NLCS Game 2. My brother's pitching in ALCS Game 1. It is currently 1-1. Harrison Bader with a home run off of Justin early in that game. Martin Maldonado follows up with a double, scoring a run later. So it is 1-1 in ALCS Game 1. Yeah.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling okay right now because I'm locked in. You know, like when I lock in, I'm fine. But the second this is done, we're going to go back and I'm going to watch the game, and I will be a nervous wreck.
Freaking out.
We have a director director Rick on this show, who's a Yankees fan. Rick, I will not be around you for the rest of the day, at least the rest of the game. But this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, to be here is really cool. It's actually, obviously I wish I was able to watch him in person, but to be here covering this, I'm working here. And the NLCS game 2, he's working on the ALCS side, so it's really cool, really special. That's going to be a great series. This, where we are, isn't the series anybody expected.
No.
That is the series everybody wanted.
Yeah.
You want the Houston Astros against the New York Yankees, the 2 clear best teams in the American League this year, and I'm excited about that series as well.
Okay, so we are 2 games in to the NLCS, now heading to Philly for 3. What are your 3 takeaways from these first 2 games, series tied up at 1 apiece? What do you need to see?
What I needed to see was that the Padres could beat one of the Phillies' 2 guys.
Yeah.
And they did that. That was vital, or else there is a good chance we weren't coming back here.
My mindset was like, if the Padres lose today, kind of smelt like a sweep.
Yeah.
Going into Philly.
Yeah. If the Padres didn't win today, there was a good chance we didn't get back here.
Yeah.
They beat Aaron Nola. He had been great. That was big for me. So that would be takeaway number 1. Takeaway number 2. Superstars need to arise in the biggest occasions.
Yes.
And we saw that here tonight. Manny Machado, Juan Soto. You can only get, I don't want to say you can only get so far, but Trent Grisham being your guy in the lineup throughout the postseason is great. But at a certain point, you get to these big NLCS games, 7-game series, you need your guys to be guys. Machado was good in the DS. Now he got to the CS. We need him. If you're the Padres, you need him to be good.
And Soto.
So when you look at the playoffs, guys need to be guys. So my big takeaways are Machado and Soto. Yeah, Trent Grisham. If you can get anything out of him, great.
Yeah.
Machado, Soto, Harper, Schwarber, Castellanos. Those are going to have to be the guys to step up, and that's how you win a World Series. You can get here from your role players playing a big role, but you need your superstars to show up on the biggest occasion, and that's what they seem to be doing now.
Yeah. This needed to happen. For the Padres to stay alive in this series, this was a must-win. They got the must-win. You could feel the energy on the field, in the crowd. This is what they need heading into Philly, and it's going to be wild. We've talked about it a lot. It is loud. The fans in Philly are in on every pitch, every at-bat. It's hard to even hear yourself think, so we hear in Philly, but we'll let you guys know because we head there tonight, and we're going to be doing a show from there Friday, pre and post game. We're going to take you guys along. It is going to be so fun. I am so excited.
I'm so excited. This series has been awesome. A third and final point would be the pitching. Blake Snell, I mentioned it. If the Padres will win, if Blake Snell can win, pitching has been huge. Now the Phillies are in trouble. They don't have a stud going for a little while. They need to take care of business in Philly. That's going to be a big one for me. What can you get from your starting pitchers in Game 3 and Game 4? One way or the other, we will find out, because that does it for Alex and I here in San Diego, at least for Games 1 and 2. For now, we are wrapping this up. We are getting on a plane, and we are heading to Philadelphia. This episode has been a blast. Thank you all for listening. Enjoy the NLCS. Game 3, when that happens, enjoy the ALCS right now while it's happening live. This has been a blast. Alex and I are out of here, and that does it for another episode of Flippin' Bats presented by Perry Ellis Fragrances. We will see you all in Philadelphia.